Hello, welcome to this video for the High Velocity Market Master. This is Mark Soberman, and in today's video I want to talk to you a little bit about obviously the trading system. Again, show you some recent performance. You've seen other posts in the blog in various different markets. We're having obviously a great time trading the system. All the people who came with us in the first launch are all up to speed at this point, so it's been a great experience, and you'll be hearing from some of those people as well. But we get asked a lot, kind of what is really sort of what makes a successful trader. And since we've been doing this since 1996, I mean, that's a long, long time, obviously, online and in providing trading strategies. And the High Velocity Market Master is definitely the ultimate strategy and system that we've ever been able to come up with, and almost exclusively what we're trading here in house. And so what I wanted to do is I'm going to show you the system a little bit, but I also wanted to kind of cover what I sort of think are the three keys to successful trading. And it may seem somewhat logical what we talk about here real briefly, but it's always very surprising when we talk to anybody who comes to us who has not been having success, how often they really are not following these three keys. And if somebody's having any trouble at all, especially with the HVMM, because the system is so solid and so consistent, these are the areas that we look at. And number one is you have to have a trade plan. And why that might sound obvious and logical, it's almost sometimes downright shocking to us how many people we talk to who really do not have a specific plan entering the trading day. They literally do not know what position size they're going to be trading. They almost don't know what markets they're going to be trading. They will change their minds throughout the day. If things aren't going well, they start to jump around to different markets. They really don't know what times they should trade, or if they feel that, hey, normally I trade in the morning and it's not going well, they continue to trade through the midday, through the lunch hour, through times that typically are not rewarding at all. And as you know, all that ends up happening there is you just kind of make a bad situation worse. And then having daily objectives. What is your plan? What is your goal to start each day? Without this, you just cannot succeed. You got to have a very specific trading plan. Number two, you got to follow the system. Now, this is key. I cannot tell you how many times over the years, like I said, way back to 1996, that we've talked to traders, individual traders, who just have the hardest time staying with a system. It's not easy to do, especially when things aren't going necessarily perfect, but it's always, fairly surprising to see what people do if things don't go immediately their way. You just cannot shake yourself out. I can't tell you how many trading days some of you have seen in the blog where I've had, it's up to now 27 straight days that have been positive. However, there's been plenty of times during those 27 days that I have not been positive intraday. And if I was to suddenly reinvent the wheel and shake myself out and panic, I would not have ended so many of those days positive. It's not where you start, it's where you end, but you have to stay with the system. You can't break the rules. And when you do, and inevitably you will, and inevitably, like even me personally, I make mistakes. At the end of each day, I review my trades, and I correct what I feel I've done wrong, and I make sure I keep programming myself so the next day I'm not going to do the same thing. And the last thing is proper risk management. Now, I know there's a lot of other topics that you can put into this mix. Trade psychology is an amazing topic to cover. But risk management, to me, is where it all starts. You have to trade the right markets for your account size. You also have to trade the right markets for the times of day or night that you can trade. You can't force a market to trade just because it's convenient for you when it typically does not move correctly during that time. You also do not want to trade markets that are just not healthy for your account size. I mean, the old adage of the 2% or less, it's a great starting point, but or less is the better way to go. And again, you'd be shocked how often we talk to people who are risking 10, 15, 25% using massive leverage. They're hoping for the quick score, but nobody's ever made it as a trader with the quick score. The people who have the stories of, hey, I had this trade and I doubled my money, they never end up with money within days or weeks. Okay, they typically will wipe out their account. That's not the kind of trader you want to be. So think of those and think about those three keys. I'm telling you that if you can kind of wire those and master those into your mind, you definitely, especially with the HVMM at your side, you're going to be good. And what's interesting, I'm going to look at the Nasdaq E-mini here, which is a good market to start for, especially a smaller trader, smaller account. Even if you have a bigger account and you want to learn and not, cause yourself too much trouble or damage, this is a great market to start with. There's, of course, other choices as well. But a few of these different factors came into play the last few days that I just sort of wanted to show you. And we have specific rules of what to do when a market, for instance, gaps from here to here. So we follow these rules, and it has us wait for the market, what we call the cycle. So if you follow the rules exactly, we don't do anything early on, but we do get this entry here at 1734.50, which we're going to go ahead and trigger at 8:36. That's Chicago time, exchange time. And we're going to be going for a target of 1737. It looks like about 1737 even. So we're going to be getting long here to go for this target. And you can see we trigger and we move along, and eventually we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit target. Now you may see additional entries here. We do not stack our positions. Okay, so these are things, like I say, sticking with the rules, not forcing the market. So within about 10 minutes, we have our first winning trade. And this just happened on Monday. Friday was also a really nice session, October 9th. This is a very straightforward day. Now we have what's next is what we call either looking for our re-entry trades, or as you can see, we are setting up possible shorts. Now, am I immediately jumping in to go short? Absolutely not. My system says I need to wait for what we call a re-entry setup. And I end up getting a re-entry setup, literally with this candle here, and we trigger in, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to see plenty of upside on this move, and we're going to get to our target on the re-entry. Okay, now the re-entry, I'm going to show you in a moment here. This is the setup candle. These are rules that you learn. Was at 1737.75. My target is going to be based upon when I actually get long, which is here. And you're going to learn the calculation. This is going to be 2.25 points, okay, on that one. So I'm going for 1740, which I end up hitting right here. At that point, I'm done on this session. I'm 30 minutes in, power of quitting. Remember what I said on the second, having the trade plan, having the daily objective, that was our objective. So in this session, I can be done in about 30 minutes. Yes, there's more trades. If I kept on going, there'd be more setups. Maybe there's even more winners. It doesn't matter. We follow a very specific trading plan. Now I'm going to jump forward to the next day, which would have been Tuesday of this week. And like I said, you can see tons more trades, but we're not here to trade like it's an endurance race or a marathon. There's no reward for that. The best days are the fastest days. You see this long trade here that we have at 1729.75. Notice how we get to target right here. We can pick up another 2 points. Do we get out at the peak? Nobody knows what the peak's going to be. Nobody can anticipate that. We want to be able to satisfy our target the majority of the time. We want the odds to be in our favor. So within a few minutes of the day, I've got my first successful trade. Now I come back a bit later with a short trade right here at 1728. We teach you to knock that down a little bit to 1727.75, and I'm going to go for this target here. And we're going to end up, as you can see, the markets just go up and down a little bit, but I'm going to end up hitting target. Now a lot of people, when this happens, they won't have any specific plan, no specific rules, and they'll panic out. That's not what you want, is what we're doing. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll along here and show you, kind of just jump ahead to one more session. Now this day we had this really big gap. There's very specific rules that we follow on very big gaps. Okay, same thing. It took a little while for this market to get going, but eventually, we had a short here that went to our money management level. Now what comes a little bit later is we have a trade on the long side that's not going to end up working. We're going to end up stopping out using this candle as our exit. But a bit later, we're able to come back with a short trade and take that trade to the downside. And it's going to go up and down a lot. As you can see, once again, we hit this sideways action. So we had, the successful initial short, just a partial. We have a losing trade here, but our plan is not to panic. Our plan is not to let that derail us. We stay with it. Of course we're going to lose. We're going to have regular losers, but you're going to have a lot more winning trades than you're going to have losing trades. So keep in mind, those core concepts that we discussed, having the specific trade plan, okay? Following the system, utilizing proper risk management, those are the keys. That's how we're able to deal with the wins and the losses, and ultimately on a very consistent basis end up on the positive side of the ledger. So I hope that helped, gave you a little bit more of an insight on what we do with the High Velocity Market Master. Leave some comments, leave some questions. Be happy to answer those, and try to spend a little bit of time thinking about that. The system is always important. Everybody focuses on trying to learn the system as fast as they can, but there's a lot of other things that goes into being a successful trader, and we're going to cover all of that in the training, well beyond just the system.